Hello everyone, Gamar Choba. Welcome to my presentation, and today I'm going to show you my business plan. So, before I begin my presentation, I want to tell you that many people or some friends that they ask me why I choose this business and why I choose that product as my marketing. So, this history or maybe this book is not really infamous like any histories or any stories around the world because I take from some uh, some histories that it is not really infamous like in Costco or something like that. So I check it because I think if I educate within a new one, it will be good and also helping people who wants to know about that content. So therefore, I begin my presentation and my answer and also reason uh, are in are on the slide. So let's begin our presentation. Then before I begin to Juliet Gamsakhurdia, he was the first president of the Republic of Georgia. Also, he was a writer of Georgia. Gives a quote that like this, which means we need we need to we need to get solidarity and more powerful within the people of whole countries. So the quote means like that. Then our company profile, as you see on the slide, that the name is definitely unique than anyone because that that name isn't really infamous and you just find in Georgia only. So if you see like Giardis project, so Giardis is a follower of Julia Gamsakhurdia, as I told you that he was a president, but the good thing was he always motivate people and educate people who wants to struggle together for independence of its country. Although at that time they have so many interventions or issues from the Soviet Union, but they could be united within different ethnic groups. That's how that was how Jagam Sahuda always give motivate and also innovated for anyone. And then in 1991, especially on 9th of April, Georgia had been seceded from the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. Then they launched a new flag, new anthems, and also new coats of arms. Therefore, until this day, we know or we acknowledge that Georgia is a country in Caucasus. Also, it is a former Soviet state until this day. So the name why I give jihadist because I always get good quotes, get the good quotes from him. Then I always get inspired of his sentence that it will be good for leaders or for anyone who want to convert their behaviors. So I think this item is definitely good for youngers. Therefore, um, I just put on the content via this and project. Well, project just like business, which we focus on the marketings or the sellings or anything. But the fact is that although we always sell or although we sell books for anyone, but we don't mean that we just focus on the economy. Uh, So the otherwise we focus on the education because we want to make that Indonesians or maybe people acknowledge or knowing about Georgia and also its culture by this book. And I think you could find this book in any places. I promise about that. Also, uh, the project will be bringing you much more getting knowledge about culture and also language. For example, Georgia. Well, you just know like Georgia is a name of the country, but but for but for the Georgians, they call Sakartvelo. Sakartvelo means Georgia, so the difference is definitely far away than the room. So yeah, so that was why I give that name. And if you want to know or if you want to get there, you could you could come to our address. Well, our office is in Jalan Kinanti, number 2. Well, you could find in any websites, or maybe if you don't want to see that, you could find in any social medias. We have Instagrams and YouTube. Well, just write via this project, and it tells more about the content of Georgia, also our our daily or our activity at the moment, also the YouTube as well. Also, um, we are were the first who found this company as as its first time for being um, adopted as generation business. So I'm I'm senior and I'm a CEO or owner of this company, and my partner and my ex-partner, I mean, um, who was Rizky Aquila, but now he had been left out of us. So today all of the jobs are from me, but somehow we always give a, an employment for working something like that. So we have that, but not for head of business or something like that. So our purpose is education. Well, I think many people or many of them don't think or don't mind about why we focus on the education. Well, education is more important. Education makes people are feeling good, are understandable for future. So that's why we want to press that we need to improve its education for this time. Although we face any defiance or challenges from any people, but we are be sure that we could be getting them. Yeah, also as we add some informations why I chose jihadis project. Well, the name of jihadis, I think you will be not understanding why I just put this name. Well, because jihadis or the follower of Jirgam Zahodia, well, he is a first president of the Republic of Georgia who struggled on independence from the Soviet Union at the time. But the good thing is he always makes some quotes and also motivations that the younger had been inspired and more sophisticated for his struggle for the independence. Therefore, we inspired by that, so we just put it on the content So like jihadis, well, project absolutely is for business, and that name uh, means that we are being spared and also more sophisticated for our life. So that's our meaning. Then also um, we founded or we launched our company in or on 23rd of August 2021. So we are we are this second, or we are still being younger than anyone, so we still have studying or learning by themselves. So let's begin to another slide. Okay, so for this book, we have a book that it is very interesting to read that because it tells about a coup d'état in Georgia. Well, at the time, in 1991, when Georgia got an independence from the Soviet Union, we thought that they could be they could be enjoying for their struggles for their independence, but unfortunately, the sentences are not being accurate. Instead of that, they face a coup d'état until into the civil war among of them. Well, the story starts like when Julia Gamzakhurdia declared that Georgia had been seceded from the Russian Empire or Soviet Empire. Then he made own governments, own flags, and also own national anthems, uh, which they call Dideba or praise by God. And during that era, um, he promised that in May of 1991, they had a new election for the first time. But unfortunately, when the election had been established at the time, he joined that. Although, well, uh, joining is was not an issue for that, but Jagam Sakurdia said that he didn't want to become a president of the Republic of Georgia anymore because he thought that anyone could be leading this country, not him. But unfortunately, based on his based on our expectation, was not definitely true. And unfortunately, Yusuf Sakudia joined that joined the election. Then he elected as a new president of the Republic of Georgia. Therefore, many uh, many groups or many communities didn't feel well for the result. So therefore, they they made a new coalition that it will be getting step him down from the position. Then until August, uh, Gamsakhurdia's prime minister, Gamsakhurdia's first prime minister, Tegi Sigwa, had resigned as a had resigned within his ministries, and they declare as the opposition government. So if we see more details that uh, prime minister also many ministries declares that um, they resign as governments, but they join with the opposition as their fights or as their matching to Gamsa Khurdia. Also, the very issue was that when the military joined that item, although the military is still being loyalty with Gamsa Khurdia, but when he made some bad policies, that it will be suffer, or it will be less, or very definitely um, not well for military. Therefore, the commander of military, Tengiz Kitofani, had declared that he didn't want this National Guard, or the army of Georgia, establishing loyalty with Gamsakhurdia, or with central government. Therefore, military joined the opposition. So if you see of the contents, it tells that in its government, they have loyalty of Gamsakhurdia, who are support, or president support, but the other one is anti. So they are split up, become two factions. Until December 1921, they faced a coup d'etat. Then the result was the anti-Gamsakhurdia, anti-jihadists had been one of Gamsakhurdia's fighting. So therefore, it just that was the blooded bullshit coup d'etat in Caucasus history at the time. So the book does like that. Then um, you could find in Gramedia, you could find in any places, because this book is definitely great and more sophisticated. You could be learning about Georgia, also learning about culture, about history. Also, I think you like politics, especially for management or something like that. Then I tell you more about. So our segmentation is for anyone, well, millennials, well, Gen Z, sandwich, or boomers, or something like that. Because as we see in this slide, on the chart especially, that boomers, Gen Z, and millennials are are likely reading books, but the difference is that um, millennials and also Gen Z is definitely uh, they like read a book, or read a book, but they don't feel understandable, because they have a new one, which is from handphone or from smartphone. So like they could read by their electronics. Well, boomers, they could be anything. Sometimes they could um, reach reading books. Sometimes they don't. It depends on that. Do you know why? Because boomers, yeah, I mean, like in 1960s until 1980s, when computer and handphone are still being unsuccessor, uh, they just read a book every day. They just read articles every day, because that is the only one way um, to push out the um, the trash of boring. So therefore, with their proficiency for their readings, could be making them become comfortable for reading. So I know what do I think you know what do I mean. So that's why we focus for whole generations, but the priority is boomers, because they love it. So the second one is positioning and targeting. So our targeting and positioning is definitely for all people, and positioning, of course, we focus on the education, because with this book we hope that Indonesians, or maybe anyone, could be acknowledge Georgia and also its culture, and also might be they could be learn more um, about unique things in its nation. I think Georgians could be reading or learning about Indonesian culture too. It depends on that. I hope like that when we have this book, yeah, and this book is just for one product. Then in next year, maybe in next month, we will be making a new one. But I can tell it to this day because it's still being processed. Then the product or the aspect of product, um, actually we make that product just like a novel book. We have like 39 pages, so like maybe uh, more than one within the smallest one, and also the price is definitely cheap. I think the book or the history book is definitely expensive, but in us, you don't feel or you don't worry about that because the book is definitely cheap, like 23,000 rupiah, or maybe in dollars, or maybe $2 or $3, or in pounds, and it's just for $1, 1 pound. So it's definitely cheap. You could buy online or buy something like that, and the core benefit, ultimate benefit, partnership benefit, especially. Um, we hope that with this business could be reaching, helping people who wants to learning or studying about countries or about culture, something like that. So therefore, this is my presentation for that. And I'm going to show you the finance. It tells about the salary and also about uh, the um, device that we need to make or for our products. So here's are my finance. Yeah, like you could see like that. Um, because if we don't have like this, we could not be reaching that. So just depend on the people. We don't have that. And for this job, for this job, I work alone, or might be I work with somebody, just like outsourcing, because uh, we are firma, so therefore we apologize that um, the official is just one person, is me, while the otherwise just for um, outsourcing. So that's the sentence of my presentation to this day. Okay, for the production again. So for the production is definitely um, like novel book, and you could be finding that. Also, um, the good thing is that the book um, the book is the book could not be breaking up, or that you fold it, or that you push to the water. The book is still being working on. So that's a good quality for us. Then we exhaust, or we hope that our service is definitely well for people, for customer who buy it. And our conclusion, we say the cheapest book in the world is just from us via this project. You could buy any books, maybe $23,000. I'm sorry, I mean 23,000 rupiah, or might be 18,000 rupiah. Is definitely our principle. Is definitely our targets, that we want to make education with the cheapest book in the world. I hope so like that. So thank you. that's my presentation. Also, that's my reason and my answer. We hope that for this presentation, uh, we could be sharing about our experience and also our hopes that it will be working on for the future. Thank you very much and have a good day.